Hello everyone and welcome to the Kiki London YouTube channel. My name's Amanda and in today's video we're going to be doing some Valentine's nails using the Easy Build Up Gel from Kiki London. So this is their build gel in a bottle. I have already done a lot of the prep work. I will leave a link in the description box below to a recent prep video I've done so you can see how I prep my nails ready for any gel products. So I'm jumping straight to cleansing the nail plate and I'm just using one of the Kiki London alcohol pads to do this. So as you can see, I'm really giving those nails a good scrub just to make sure they're all nice and clean. This will also dehydrate the nail ready for us to apply our products. Now before coming in and applying any products, I'm going to apply some tips. Now I was working with tips today because I thought I'd mix it up a little bit. Sometimes I sculpt, sometimes I use tips. I do kind of find tips a little bit easier to do on myself, so I just opted to apply tips today. So I'm simply popping a little bit of glue onto that nail tip and placing it down onto the very tip of my natural nail. And I'm going to do this on all 4 nails. For the purpose of the video, I'm only doing 4 nails because it is a little tricky to record the thumbnail. Now these tips are quite long as you can see, and I just want a more short to medium length. So I'm going to nip them all down to roughly the same length. Then I'm going to take my Kiki London file and file the tips into shape. Now, in all honesty, I don't really like filing the tips when they haven't got any product on them. So if I really wanted to file these more into shape, I would do my clear base and then file that into shape. But because I'm not doing a clear base on this particular set today, I'm just refining these a little bit just to bring down that length so it's uniform with all of the other nails, and just to make sure that the sidewalls of the tip are parallel with the sidewalls of my natural sidewalls. And I do this on all 4 nails, but I'm just going to show you all doing it on one because it's just repeating that same process. And like I said, I'm not really doing too much. I'm just doing minimal filing to get them into a little bit more shape so that I'm going to have less filing to do when it comes to finishing off the set. Now, although these tips are quite thin, I want to blend them in a little bit more with my natural nail plate. So I'm taking my Kiki London buffer and I'm just gently running that along where that tip meets the natural nail, just so it blends in and then there's not going to be a huge ridge for my products to move over. Being really careful that I'm not over buffing the nail plate here. I'm more focusing it on the tip area. And also when you are using tips with a builder gel product, you want to make sure you're buffing off the shine of the tips. The particular tips I was using have a matte surface, but I do still like to buff over them a little bit anyway, just because I then know that my gel is going to adhere to them correctly. And as you see, I did also give them another clean with one of the alcohol pads before I come in and apply my primer. So I'm then going to apply the Kiki London primer, and I'm just applying this to the natural nail plate. I don't need to take this down onto the tips because we don't need to prime them for the products. Now you do need to be really careful that you don't get any of this on the skin. So I like to kind of don't go too close to the cuticle or sidewalls, and it will disperse out. And then I leave that to air dry before I'm going to come in with my rubber base coat. Now I love the rubber base coat for nails like my own. They are quite weak and thin, and the rubber base coat really gives them that extra layer of strength. So I'm going to come in and apply this to all 4 of the nails. Now you will see again, I'm mainly focusing this product on the natural nail plate, but I do bring it down onto the tip and sort of fade out the product. But the main purpose of the base coat is to help the builder gel adhere to your natural nail. So it kind of acts like a double-sided tape. It sticks really well to the natural nail plate, and then the builder gel is going to stick really well to the base coat. So although it's mainly focused on that natural nail plate, I do like to bring some down onto the tip as well, just for extra adhesion there. I've then popped that in to cure for 30 seconds, and then I'm going to come in with my builder gel. So I'm using the Kiki London Easy Build Up range, and this particular colour is called Sweet Rose, and as you can see it's a gorgeous pink colour, pinky nude builder gel. I'm going to be doing pretty much a simple glitter fade on 3 of the nails and then a full nail on the ring finger. So coming in, I'm applying a really thin layer. Now this is called your slip layer. So you apply this layer nice and thin and you leave it wet before you come in with your thicker layer, and that just helps your gel know where to go. So what I've done is I've applied that exactly as I would my base coat. Nice and thin, getting a nice neat cuticle line and bringing it down the nail. Then I've picked up my larger ball of gel, placed that down at the cuticle area, and I'm just walking and guiding that down the nail. Because you've got your slip layer there, this thicker layer of gel will just know where to flow, and it makes it a whole lot easier. Now, I haven't applied a too thick layer of gel. It's slightly thinner than if I was doing a full builder gel now, because I'm going to be coming in with my nail art. So to apply my glitter, I've popped some of the Easy Build Up Gel in clear on my palette, and then I'm taking my Kiki London round gel brush, dipping into that clear builder gel, and then dipping into my raw glitters. Now, there are a few different ways to do glitter fades, and you know, they all are really easy, so always do what you find easiest. I will, as I do different videos, show you different ways that I do them, but if I'm doing a pretty simple glitter fade, this is kind of my go-to way. So I like to build up my cuticle and a little bit of my apex area with my pink color, then come in with my glitters at the tip, and then just mainly focus my encapsulation layer on the glitter. So as we go through the video, I'll explain it all a little bit more. But here for this first now, I've kind of just gone through it all. We'll talk about it a little bit more as we go on to the next one. But now I am just placing down my glitters using that round gel brush, getting them into place and nudging them around. What I love about working with glitters and builder gels is you know that they're not going to set until you pop them into cure, so you get plenty of playtime. And you will also see here as well, where the Kiki London builder gel is that little bit thicker than some builder gels, I find that amazing for playing around with nail art, because I don't have to worry about the gel running or seeping into my cuticles and sidewalls. Because it is that little bit thicker, it kind of stays where you put it. So even though I'm pressing these glitters quite hard down into the gel isn't running or seeping into my sidewalls. And then I'm just making sure to fade that glitter black so it just looks a little bit more prettier and appealing to the eye before I pop it in to cure. I'm then going to pop this now into cure, and then we're going to be doing exactly the same on the next finger. So I'll talk you through the steps again a little bit more in detail, but if you do have any questions, then make sure to pop them in the comments below and I can get back to you. So first of all, applying that thin slip layer of builder gel. This is a really thin coat. Think of it as though you're applying your base coat. Get a nice neat cuticle line, get a nice neat sidewall line, and just make sure it's applied to the entire surface of the nail. I'm then going to leave that layer wet and pick up my next ball of gel. So as you can see, I've placed it down at the cuticle area. I'm not really pushing it up into the cuticle because we don't want a too thick area. And then I'm just floating that gel down the nail. I'm leaving the bulk of it on the nail bed area because that's where I want the most coverage, because I'll be applying the glitter and encapsulating the tip of the nail. And now I'm still working on top of that wet layer of gel, so I've still not popped anything into cure yet. I'm dipping my brush into the clear builder gel and then going into my glitter, and I'm just placing that right down at the tip of the nail. And as I said, gel will follow gel, so where we've got that wet layer of the pink gel down, the glitter mix and the gel is going to just flow nicely over that. So I'm just tapping it into place. If you want more coverage, you can come in with more glitter. Now, like I said, there are different ways of doing glitter fades. You could actually cure the pink layer and then come in with your glitters. But because I want to kind of push these hearts down into the glitter, that's why I've left it wet. And I'm doing that because these nails are quite short, so I don't want to end up with too thick bulky nails, so I don't want to add too much of a thick encapsulation layer. So by pushing these down into that pink gel, I will only have to pop a thin layer down to encapsulate them. And then I'm just touching up here and there with the glitters until I'm happy with how the fade looks, just because you want it to look quite appealing to the eye. So you want the glitter to fade off down, and I don't want to take too many of the hearts or too much of the glitter down the nail, because we still want to be able to see the pink gel down at the cuticle and nail bed area. Then I popped that in to cure, and that will set all of that sweet rose builder gel as well as the glitter in place. And as you can see, I did also do exactly the same on the little finger, but I did that one off camera because you've already watched it twice. So now we're going to come in and do a full builder gel now. So this is going to be a full now of the sweet rose. So I'm applying my slip layer, a thin layer, exactly the same as before when we were working on the glitter fades, making sure that I don't get any on the skin or the sidewalls. If you do get any on the skin or the sidewalls, then make sure to clean it off with some alcohol before curing. And then I've picked up my larger ball of gel and placing that down at that cuticle area, and then I'm just walking it down the nail. Now, because I need this nail to be a little bit more built up than the previous nails, because they're still yet to be encapsulated, so their thickness hasn't been finished yet, but because this one is going to have all of its thickness in with this one colour, I'm coming in with a little bit more gel than what I did on the previous nails, just to build up that strength and structure. But like I said, where these are quite short nails, you don't want to build up too much thickness, because one, it's not necessary, and two, it just doesn't look too pretty. I felt as though the nail looked a little bit thin down at that apex area, so I come in with another ball of gel, but I moved this ball of gel down the nail a little bit too much, so it does look a little bit bulky. But the good thing about that was I do show you how easy the builder gel nails are to file. So here you can see the application's not perfect, but when it comes to filing, you'll see how easy it is to file and refine. Now I'm moving back to the glitter fade nails, and they need to be encapsulated so that we don't file into those glitters. So I'm coming in with the crystal clear builder gel, applying that thin slip layer down again. And when I'm popping that thin layer down over glitters, I'm really working it into the glitter pieces so that they're all fully encapsulated, and then I can just float the second layer over. Again, I don't cure that thin slip layer, I kept that wet, and then I come in with my thicker ball of gel. Then once that glitter is fully encapsulated, I'm going to pop that in to cure for 30 seconds, and we're going to do exactly the same again on the next nail. So really scrubbing this layer in. As you can see, I want it to be nice and thin. This is just to guide my thicker layer where to go. Then when I'm applying that thicker layer of gel, I'm popping the ball of gel down, wriggling it so it releases from my brush, and I'm literally taking it from side to side and just guiding it into place. It self-levels and flows absolutely beautiful, so you have to do minimal work with the brush. You want to also make sure you're using quite light motions, because you don't want to add any air bubbles into the gel. So I'm working quite slow with it and just guiding it. That's the only way I can really explain it. I'm not pulling or pushing it into place, I'm just letting it flow down over the slip layer and guiding it into place. So this is what the nails looked like once I'd fully encapsulated all of that glitter. Now the application is quite smooth and even with builder gel, but I do like to come in and file just to refine them and to get my shape. So before filing, I'm going to remove the tacky layer with one of the Kiki London alcohol pads, just making sure to give them a good scrub. Now, as you will see here, the application, it wasn't 100% perfect, so I do want to come in just to refine the shape and refine the overall surface of the builder gel. Now, one of the things I love about this builder gel is it's so beginner friendly, because once you've applied it, it's not hard to apply, but if you do apply it and you're not 100% happy with your application, it files like butter. It's just so easy to file. So as you can see here, I'm coming in with my file, I'm taking it down to begin with on this particular nail. I'm removing the more uneven surface where I pulled my gel down the nail a little bit too much. So I'm evening out those bumps, and look, effortlessly, I filed over it a few times and I've already got a fairly even surface. But I'm just coming down the side wall, around the cuticle area, up the other side wall, and then over the surface of the nail. And then I will come in and shape the nail once I'm happy with the overall surface of the nail. You do want to be really careful when it comes to filing the builder gel that you don't over file, because it files so easily. It's very easy to file too much and remove your apex. So you can see here, I'm just pointing out my nail still does have that apex and that structure there. So when I'm filing, I'm constantly stopping and checking just to make sure that I'm happy with what I'm doing and I can see where needs filing. If you go in and file too much without stopping, you may find that you over file certain areas. So constantly make sure that you're checking the nail from all angles. So I like to do a little bit of filing, then completely check the nail, you know, move my hand around, look at it from different angles, and then come in and do a little bit more filing if it's needed. So here I'm coming in and I'm shaping the nail, just making sure that, again, those side walls are parallel with my natural side walls. I'm just making sure I've got a nice square shape to the free edge. So I did the exact same that I did on the ring finger to all of the other nails, and I'm then going to come in and buff them using the Kiki London buffer. So I'm just buffing over them to really remove any of the scratches that are left from the file. You don't want to over buff them because you don't want to make them too smooth, but buffing them, it just gives you a nice surface to apply your top coat to. I'm then going to make sure I give them a good scrub to remove all of the dust, so I did do that off camera. And then on the ring finger, I'm going to be doing a little bit of nail art, just a simple heart, and I'm going to be using the Kiki London Wild Heat for this one. So I've popped some of that down on a palette, and to draw my heart I'm going to be using the 01 detail brush. I love this brush because it's so short. When you're working on yourself especially, it's really helpful for drawing small designs. Now unfortunately you can't really see what I'm doing because the camera went out of focus and was more focusing on my hand and I didn't realise, but I've drawn out a really simple heart shape just going off to one side in the corner of my nail. If you want to check out some more videos on how I do some hand painting, I will leave the previous 2 videos I've done linked below, because in those I do some hearts and some roses, I believe. So I'll leave them linked below because you can see a little bit better what I'm doing on them. And then I'm just coming in and touching up that heart, making sure the colours are nice and even. Wild Heat is such a pigmented red. I only needed 1 coat for this colour heart, so I'm just making sure that that's applied nice and thin and evenly before popping it into Cure. Here I'm just touching up the sides, and that's what I love as well about the detail brush, because it's so short you have full control over how you're applying the product, so it's great for coming in at different angles and getting a nice neat shape. I'm then going to pop that in to Cure for 30 seconds. And then we're going to come in and top coat. So I'm top coating today using the Kiki London No White top coat. This is one of my favourite top coats, especially when we're working over glitter. You'll see that when you've encapsulated your glitter and you've filed it and buffed it, it looks all dull. And then you come in and apply your top coat and it's just like applying magic and bringing all of those beautiful glitters back to life. So I'm just going to apply a thin, even layer of this to all of the nails. As you can see, I'm pushing that top coat up towards the cuticle and then dragging it down towards the free edge. You don't need a too thick layer of top coat, so I'm keeping it nice and thin. The top coat is just designed to seal everything in and finish off the nail and give you that high shine. If you do get any on the skin or cuticles though, just make sure you remove it with some alcohol before curing. And then once I have finished applying this to all of the nails, I'll pop this in to Cure. Now before coming in with my cuticle oil, I do always like to let my top coat cool down so it heats up or warms up a little bit in your lamp. And you can find that if you pop your cuticle oil on too soon, it can dull the shine a little bit. So what I always like to do is bring the hand out of the lamp, leave it to cool for a minute or 2, and then come in and apply my cuticle oil, which I will show you guys. So this is what the nails looked like once I had finished top coating them. And I'm loving them. I thought they looked really short and sweet and just really pretty, to be honest. I was glad I went for some red in there. So now I'm going to come in with the Sweet Peach Cuticle Oil. I'm loving this one. It's my absolute favourite. I'm going to apply a drop of this to all of the nails and just really rub and massage that into the cuticle area, getting right around them, because before applying my products I'd done a soak off, so my cuticles and skin were quite dry from the acetone, and then I'd done my prep work, and obviously we've done all the product applying. So applying your cuticle oil just really helps nourish and revitalize your cuticles. And then that, guys, is the end of the video. I have left a little picture as well for you all to check out. I hope you all enjoyed watching. If you did, then please give the video a thumbs up or pop a comment below. And if you haven't already subscribed, please do consider subscribing. I upload new videos every Friday. So once again, thank you all so much for watching. Bye bye.